Good afternoon to you from wherever you're watching this live broadcast from, and thank you so much for choosing KBC Channel 1 to inform you this Saturday afternoon, a day that the country is still united in mourning as a result of the fire tragedy that happened on Thursday at Endarasha Hillside Academy in Nyeri County. Our very own Kevin Washira has been there for us since yesterday, and very quickly we just link up with him. Kevin, you have been there since yesterday. What is the very latest from that very end? I understand that so far 18 lives have been lost. What more do you have for us?
Well, thank you very much, Doreen Arange. The mood here at Endarasha, Kiambu West Sub-County in Nyeri County is as it were yesterday. Very sad, very somber mood here as parents come to try to trace their lost young ones. You remember the inferno that happened here at Hillside Endarasha Academy left at least 17 young ones, young boys who are between grade 4 and grade 7 perished in that inferno, and we still have like 70 learners still unaccounted for. And what is happening behind me, as you can see, is a tent by Red Cross. Parents are streaming one by one, trying to give the details of their children and also the details, their phone numbers, their names. Try just in a bit to try and to trace and hoping that they will find their sons. Now, behind the tent, you can see groups. What is happening is that the recovered children, those that were recovered, those that were saved from the inferno, are undergoing counseling session because they are already traumatized. They are already traumatized, and their parents are accompanying them. They are being given counseling session by officers from the Ministry of Public Health, and they are also counseling their parents. Now, at the school, the premises is totally cordoned. Nobody is entering there. We understand that there is a meeting that is scheduled to happen of security officers. What we have inside there, we have the DCI, the forensic experts, trying to gather up evidence in a bit to try and get to know the cause of the fire, which is yet to be established. And so far, we've been told that we will be briefed by the Ministry of Interior. Cabinet Secretary Professor Githurai Kindiki is expected here at around 3 p.m. So far we don't have many other details. We don't know about the fate of this over 70 boys who are unaccounted for. We are still waiting to get those information from the Ministry of Interior, and once we get them, we shall be giving it to you live from here in Endarasha. Back to you, Arange.
Thank you very much, Kevin Washira, for that update. Of course, as he has mentioned, still 70 are missing, 86 have been reunited, 18 have lost their lives. And as a result of that, the president also did declare 3 days of mourning as a result of the lives that have been lost in Endarasha Hillside Academy in Kiambu, Nyeri County. Back in studio in Machakos town, member of National Assembly Caleb Mule is calling on the government to create a task force that will go around all secondary schools in Kenya to assess their safety. The legislator suggested that the task force could provide recommendations and address the recent surge in school arson cases. Speaking at St. Ignatius Kiandeli Secondary School in Kalama during a fundraising ceremony aimed at improving the school's classrooms and dining hall infrastructure, the legislature recommended the construction of dormitories with more doors and windows to provide easier escape routes for students in case of fire.
Na naomba serikali iende rounds ama propose a task force ya kwenda round all schools in Kenya ikiangalia wanafunzi wanalala wapi kwa dormitory na usalama wao ni gani, na in case of fire ama any other accident, escape routes ni gani, ili tusipoteze watoto kwa njia moja. Pia watoto wetu wakiwa mashule, hakuna haja ya kuanzisha moto shule. Unachoma mwanafunzi mwenzako, unachoma mali ya wazazi. Hapo hakuna haja yoyote ya kwanza kuchoma shule. Kama kuna grievances zozote ambazo mko nazo, mkueni na confidence ya mwalimu mmoja ama wawili ambao mnaweza muambia.
In Makueni County, pressure is now mounting on the county government and the security operators in the county over a spike in theft of motorcycles and killing of riders. In the recent past, 6 border riders have been killed and more than 20 motorbikes stolen. At a meeting for stakeholders in the industry, the riders urged security agencies to intensify manhunt for the killer gang operating mostly along the Mombasa-Nairobi highway. The crime sparked protest by the riders earlier this week at Mijikenda town in Makueni County.
Kuwe makini sana hapo kwa border patrols na border control, wahakikishe na zile roadblocks ambazo zimewekwa pale, maaskari wakuwe makini zaidi ndio tuweze kuprotect vijana wetu Kenya, kwa sababu hapa nimepata vijana wengi sana wameuliwa, pikipiki zimepotea na zote wanasema zinaelekea Tanzania.
Yenyewe ya kufanya hii maandamano ilikuwa ni kutoona huduma ya serikali ikifanya kazi, ikishika mambo yetu kwa kazi. Shida ingine ilikuwa ya kupoteza pikipiki ovyo ovyo, hiyo mambo ya insecurity na vijana wetu kuuawa.
Ni wenye tumesimama nao stage. Hakuna mtu anaweza toka Nairobi aje direct akuja ni bie mimi kapapa pikipiki kama anijui.
Just a bit of politics now. In Homa Bay County, Governor and ODM party chairperson Gladys Wanga has maintained Raila Odinga remains the party leader and will only step down if he secures the African Union chairmanship. Wanga, however, cautioned leaders and members to steer off the succession politics and instead focus on resuming the grassroots elections previously postponed due to various logistical challenges. She stressed the importance of strengthening ODM at both county and ward levels to ensure the party remains robust.
AUC elections will be held next year. Right now, as we speak, Raila Odinga is the party leader of ODM. And the party is a strong party. The party has institutions. So we don't want to discuss. It's like discussing inheriting a wife whose husband is still alive. So we don't want to get ourselves embroiled in that discussion while Raila remains the party leader. There are people, detractors of the party, taking advantage of that discussion and spinning it to make it look like there is a vacancy in the position of party leader. There is none.
The Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mung'aro has rallied the Mijikenda to unite and push for a common agenda. Speaking ahead of the Chenda cultural celebrations, the governor said the region stands to gain a lot if leaders and residents forge a united front. The Chenda cultural celebrations set for Monday next week will be used to, among others, recognize the contribution of past and present members of the Mijikenda in pushing for the interests of the community.
Hii Kenya itakuwa ikiundwa kila siku, wa Mijikenda hawahesabiwi. Kwa nini? Lazima tuhesabiwe na tuwe na mwelekeo wa kwamba umoja wetu ndio peke yake utatufanya tuweze kuhesabiwa. Kama hatutaungana, kila siku utakuwa si kazi yetu ni kujaliza tu na kwenda.
Mnavyoona Kenya hii vitu vimebadilika. Broad based government imeleta mabadiliko. Ndio utapata hapa deputy party leader tuko naye, governor tuko naye, wale wa vyama vingine wako hapa, na tumeamua kama Kenya pale imefika, watu wameungana. Baba ameungana na Ruto, sisi ni nani tusiungane na governor wetu tufanye mambo yetu kivyetu.
The county government of Kiambu has put on notice individuals who have illegally acquired land meant for construction of affordable houses. While assessing the ongoing construction works of 425 affordable housing units in Thika's depot area, the County Housing Board chairperson Robert Waihenya regretted that most of the public land set aside for the projects had been grabbed, but vowed that measures are underway to repossess them. The latest Thika project is scheduled to be completed by 2026 and is part of 3 others in the town.
Tumepanga mikakati na tumezungumza ya kwamba hayo mashamba yote ambayo yamenyakuliwa tutafanya kazi na kaunti na serikali kuu ili tuone ya kwamba mashamba ambayo yalinyakuliwa yote yamerudishwa kwa serikali na tumeweza kujenga katika hayo mashamba. Kwa hivyo wote ambao wameiba mashamba tunawapa tahadhari ya kwamba hayo mashamba tunayachukua.
Kwa jumla tunajenga nyumba 425. Huu mradi utachukua miaka 2, so itakamilika hapo kama Septemba, hapo mwezi wa 9 2026.
Wananchi wa Thika tusipoteze hii nafasi na tusikubali hii tupite mikononi mwetu. Tuchangie mapema, tuanze kutoa pesa kidogo kidogo.
The African Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in collaboration with Africa's Society for Laboratory Medicines, ASLM, have unveiled a robust strategy that will enhance the surveillance of antimicrobial resistance, which is a critical problem in the continent. The strategy will entail rigorous data collection, data processing, information and knowledge sharing to inform policy and behaviors with the view of taming the runaway antimicrobial resistance. During the unveiling of the master plan dubbed African Antimicrobial Resistance Surveillance Blueprint in Nairobi County on Friday, Nkoliben Ndlovu, the Chief Executive Officer ASLM, equally underscored the centrality of a robust laboratory infrastructure across the continent to win the battle against AMR. AMR occurs when microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, and parasites change in ways that render the medication used to cure the infections ineffective.
To understand the burden, to understand these pathogens that are actually resistant to the available drugs. So where do you get that data? You need strong infrastructure of laboratory services. You need labs that are able to test. That's the beginning. If we want to understand the burden in each country of antimicrobial resistance, we need strong laboratory systems and services. We need investments to be put to strengthen laboratory systems, strengthen testing that is happening so that we can understand the burden of antimicrobial in many of these countries.
The newly constructed Githurai market has finally been opened and 1,000 traders allocated their stalls. The traders said they had been eagerly waiting to occupy and conduct businesses, having endured a lengthy stint outside the facility. The stalls were allocated through a ballot process.
Tuko na furaha sana kwa sababu tuko na soko ambayo tulijengewa hapa na former president Uhuru Kenyatta na ikafunguliwa wakati wa William Ruto, na tunashukuru siku ya leo kwa sababu tumekuja, tumesikizana.
Mimi niko na raha na niko na maono kubwa na matarajio mingi. Juu hata na expect kuajiri watu wengine hapa. Siwezi fanya hii kazi nikiwa peke yangu.
Bwana Gavana, ningeomba uchukue wakubwa wote wa soko zikiwa 7 wawe kitu moja na wawe pamoja.
Exactly 14 minutes past the top of the hour. We are due for our first break. Plenty more on the other side of this breather. Stay with us.
Wakati mambo yanaonekana kwenda segemnege.
Uondoki. Felista una nini?
Utaenda lini kwetu Nyeri? Ukawaone wazazi wangu na kunitolea mahari.
Sahau.
Naonyesha liko babangu.
Kati yako na mimi, ni nani anayemjua babake Masha vizuri?
Ni mkeo, mwanao. Mambo haya yananihusu mimi kivipi? Mtazamaji, tumekuandalia taarifa zinazogonga vichwa vya vyombo vya habari kutoka hapa jijini Nairobi na pia mashinani.
Wanahabari zaidi ya ubora wao wako ange kukuletea habari pindi zinapochipuka kutoka pembe zote za Kenya.
Kwenye kipindi cha Tamrini tunakuletea mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja kufafanua na kuangazia masuala yanayokuhusu wewe mtazamaji.
Kumbuka, taarifa yenye thamani daima hupokewa kwa amani.
Hivyo basi usikose kuungana nasi kila siku ya wiki.
Tukupakulie na tukutaarifu taarifa yenye mnato kwenye runinga unayoienzi. Kwenye kurunzi mashinani,
sisi DC.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. And now over 30 families in Komunyeti Farm at the River Mavoko have been evicted from their homes in a long-standing land dispute. The families say they were not given prior warning about the impending demolition and are now calling on the government to help them regain their homes. They insist that they are the legal owners of the land.
There wasn't any eviction notice. So I was at home at the dead hours of the night, midnight. We had the bulldozers come. There were a contingent of police officers who came here in the night. Then they started banging the doors and the gates. I woke up. I took custody of my children. I took them to my neighbors. Then I came back to see what they intend to do.
Mimi nimekaa hapa sana. Hapa kwa hii shamba. Hao watu walikuja usiku saa 8 usiku na malori ya askari na maradi kuruza migi, wakakuja wakatutoresha nje, wakatulalisha nje chini na wakabomoa nyumba zetu zote. Na hapa mimi nimeishi kutoka 2002.
The Kenya Prison Service has pledged to provide land to donors for the construction of mosques and churches in all prisons across the country to enhance spiritual resilience in the rehabilitation of prisoners and prison staff. According to Nicholas Maswai, the Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, the disciplined forces seek to work with development partners to make the agenda a success. During its official opening in Machakos, Kenya Prison Service Chief Maalim Sheikh Abbas and Haji Samatar Adona both pledged their support to Masjid Yusuf, domiciled at the Machakos prison.
The Kenya Prison Service is willing to provide land where we're able for those donors who wish to put up mosques and also churches. The year 2021, the government recruited Malims who are inducted and deployed in various stations across the country.
Machakos Mosque will serve as a space for prayer, reflection, and communal gathering, contributing to the spiritual well-being of our prison staff.
Dini hii yetu alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ni dini ya kufanya counseling. Inafanya mambo mingi sana, inasaidia, inafanya wafungwa wasomeshwe.
Elsewhere, a new museum has been launched in Tana River County in what residents say will act as the best tool in reconnection generation after years of disconnect and erosion of the region's history. The museum will be used to preserve the region's culture and attract revenue from tourists visiting the area to sample its rich history. The county government says it will market Tana River as a tourist destination to create jobs and contribute to the growth of the local tourism industry.
Nyama tunazo za kutosha. Wanyama mmesikia mzee, paka ndovu tunao. Simba wako hapa, chui wako hapa, zebra wako hapa, jirafu wako hapa.
Hapa nataka tutengeze circuit kubwa hapa. Circuit yenyewe hapa i-connect historia ya communities ambazo ziko katika Itana. Kwa sababu ukiweka communities za Tana historia yake hapa, tutaweza kupata researchers. Katika research watu wanaangalia components mingi, so tunaomba National Museums of Kenya wakati wana develop ile circuit hapa mahali waweze kupanua ile horizon, waongezee culture za watu wa Tana River.
National Museums of Kenya next week, mje na timu yenu. We want this gazetted as a serious site of national pride.
And now the long wait for land title deeds is almost over for the residents of Liki Slum in Nanyuki after the National Land Commission handed them allotment letters. The 740 residents say it has taken them 4 decades to get the all-important document. Laikipia County Governor Joshua Irungu says it has been a delicate balance for all stakeholders who have worked hard to ensure no one loses their parcel of land.
Tumepitia njia zote na ndio tukafika kwamba wako na allotment letter, ile karatasi ya kuonyesha ya kwamba wanaridhi hiyo chamba hiyo chamba, na ndio siku ya leo kile tumefanya tuwaite pamoja ndio waweze kuandika, ndio tuweze kumaliza process ya title deed. Ndio wanafanya wanajaza karatasi ya acceptance letter, ile tutaweka zote pamoja tupeleke kule ndio tu process the title zitoke.
Wale watu hawajakuja kumalizia process kwetu ndio wapate letters of allotment. Mjadiliane nyumbani, wengine mlete what is required ndio tuweze kuwamalizia na mpate.
Imechukua muda mrefu na tunashukuru Mungu kwa siku ya leo nimepata hii makaratasi. Imekushukua mkono wa Mungu, manake hatukuwa tunajua kama shamba letu ama si letu.
And now 800 traders operating at Mogonga, one of the largest open-air markets in the southern Nyanza region in Kisii County, have finally conducted elections, choosing leaders who will steer the facility for the next term. The elections had on numerous occasions been postponed, raising tensions, with some members alleging mischief. The newly elected committee says it will push for accountability and ensure funds allocated to the development of the facility are prudently used.
Tunachagua viongozi 5 wa soko, chair, women rep, disability na youth. Ninaona watu wamejipanga kwa njia nzuri, watu wako na amani.
Kuna Kisii County Trade and Markets Act ya 2015 ambayo inawasema kwamba kila soko lazima itakuwa na viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa na wafanyabiashara. Hiyo ndio sababu kuu ambao tuko hapa leo, tupate viongozi, tutashirikiana nao, tufanye kazi pamoja kama serikali.
Unajua soko ya Mogonga ilijengwa zamani. Wakakweka majuma pale, wakachukua 33 milioni. Wakasaini chini kwamba Mogonga imejengwa. Hiyo ni kitu tutafuatana na nyinyi wafanyabiashara, tufanye na nyinyi kazi pamoja, ndio Mogonga itaweza kufanya nini? Mogonga ndio itafanya kujengwa.
Chaplel Primary School and the community in Ainamoi Sub-County, Kericho County, are the latest beneficiaries of free clean water drilled by Mozart Bet. Mozart Bet country manager Sasa Kreneta, who led the commissioning of the project, said it is the responsibility of the betting and gaming industry in partnership with the Betting Control and Licensing Board to support communities. The borehole that cost 3.5 million shillings is the company's 15th water project. Association of Gaming Operators of Kenya Chairman Laban Chege, however, lamented about high taxation, calling for fairness. All right, that story comes in a bit later, but now very quickly to some sporting action now. And Harambee Stars tactician Injin Firat says poor officiating denied his charges maximum points in their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against Zimbabwe at the Mandela National Stadium in Uganda. Firat also noted that the players did not execute well the instructions given and urged them to stay focused ahead of their second match against Namibia on Tuesday next week in South Africa.
Very simple to explain. In the last match he scored 3 goals against Zimbabwe, so we couldn't close this. Michael is a special player, so that's the reality. So like I said, for me it's counting very simple. For us now, it's this moment 0-0 is not the result we wanted. We wanted to win. But the reality in this group is only Cameroon has home matches. All other teams have no home match. So this means every match have a new history. This means in every match you can get 3 points.
Elsewhere, residents of Mukuthu area in Mwingi West constituency held a feat to celebrate a young girl from Mukuthu Primary School for winning a gold medal in the East African Games, which were recently held in Uganda. Speaking during her interview, Regina Munanu Kitheka promised to do even better in future with her eyes set on Olympics. Her victory has seen Christine Makau, a former athlete and wife to Kenyan decorated long-distance runner, and former world record holder Patrick Makau pledge support for Regina. Regina clocked her best time of 12.9 to win the gold medal in 100 meters for Kenya.
Celebrate vizuri, sikudhania hivi.
Tungekuwa hata na wengi, lakini sasa hatuna kiwanja. Regina hata kiatu ya kukimbia hakuwa nayo. Tunajaribu kutafuta hata yasa kutrain. Kwa hivyo tungepata wafadhili watusaidie kutengeneza uwanja, watusaidie hata kulipia karo ya Regina. Tungesaidiana na tutrain wengi.
Ile kitu ningeomba kaunti yetu ya Kitui ni waweze kusaidia watoto wetu na waweze kusaidia mashule, waweze kuweka viwanja za kutosha ili tuweze kunacha talents.
All right, the Kenya under-18 boys volleyball team assistant coach Geoffrey Omondi says with the right structures, Kenya has the capacity to compete and register good results at the international stage. The former KCB men's volleyball team player said Kenya's performance at the Africa under-18 volleyball championship in Tunisia was a clear testament. Kenya has talented players at the junior level.
Not to forget, that is the beginning, because these boys have shown that at the younger age, at the age group stages, we can always make it to the World Championship. And therefore, I would like to request the Kenya Volleyball Federation to always think about the juniors, because that is where all sports begin. And from that level, if I look at the African competition, we have an easier chance of qualifying for the World Championship through the age group competitions. We should not only concentrate on Malkia strikers and Wafalme. We should look at the age groups. It will open up ways for us much faster and with better results. And this team again will be able to feed the Malkia strikers and feed the Wafalme defenders.
Africa representatives Cameroon beat Australia 2-0 to advance to the knockout stages of the ongoing FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia. Meanwhile, France humbled Fiji 11-0, Brazil beat Canada 2-0, while Colombia defeated Mexico 1-0.
Toko curling one beautifully! A world-class goal on the world stage for Actor Toko, who could punish Australia here, and does. Oh, it's a glorious goal. Naomi Eto'o, and surely no doubt about it now, Cameroon are heading through to the knockout stages. Duchinia. Duchinia away from Archibald, kept it in, and the ball is in.
All right, time for me to now exit and sit ground for the next program. This has been KBC Lunchtime News. Definitely appreciate your valued company. I am Doreen Arange. Baron Abuli has been our sign language interpreter. Good afternoon.
Nilikwambia unitumie picha ya Redes only. Atito ni Rede. Hata ukiangalia vizuri kabisa Atito ni musishana.
Agupi ngiteni tao sandi. Achiga Kenya saa yone.
Aiwe, you too close Akibu. Kinyanchi. Yangu nayo ukipita nayo. Ile ukweli ninapita na wewe nitakufunua. Wai. Hiyo kitu ni fake. Hebu simama hapa utatupia pesa wewe.
Let me go biche.
Eka password hapa.
You are intruding into my privacy.
Hebu password Kinyanchi.
Jana yuko huko.
Useme tuliko umekuja kuniona alafu unacheza chini.
Unajua Jackie yuko amechizi, ni venye tujuange akimeza dawa.
Really? Thank you, Jen. I hope I'm not interrupting anything here.
Nini umempatia?
What do you mean?
You know that man talks more about you than our relationship.
Oh, really?
Maki ana hata ubishi. How comfortable are you here?
Mwanaume anapenda mtu mwenye anamsikiza, anamuelewa na anamuheshimu.
I am not stupid. Sawa. I know when I'm being shortchanged.
This is crazy.
You need to put your mood swings on check.
Hebu tukabunge kidogo.
Hujambo mtazamaji mahali popote ulipo mchana wa leo, ni fahari yetu kujumuika nawe kwenye makala ya dunia wiki hii siku ya leo.
Bila shaka ni papa hapa ambapo unapokea taarifa za kimataifa kutoka kila pembe kote ulimwenguni.
Tumekuandalia mengi mtazamaji.